welcome. Thank you for joining. Can everyone hear me now? Shout out to Bandito. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Shout out to... Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Jeffrey. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Drea. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Tatum. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Bang Chan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Yoonjin. Shout out to Lino. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Lee Minho. Shout out to Jaylene. Shout out to Stace. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Mia Rodriguez. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to Autumn. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Shaden. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Caesar. Shout out to Dominic. Welcome everyone. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Sutton. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Steve Shearer. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Titus. Shout out to Noah. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Also leave a like. Shout out to Meadow. Shout out to Ramon. Shout out to... Oh my goodness, sorry. Shout out to Nathan. The chat moves a little fast for me and it's hard to keep up. Shout out to Casey. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Kusha. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Carrie. Or Carrie. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Marley. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Cristiano. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Emberlyn. Shout out to Master. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Bryce. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Gray. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Han Jisung. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Cheyenne. Thank you for subscribing. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Shout out to Rosalie. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Toby. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mike Hawk. Shout out to Advika. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Ishal. Shout out to Valerie. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to IN. Shout out to Neo. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Jomar. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Janae. Shout out to Ryder. Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Betsy. Hi Betsy, welcome back. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Amaya. Shout out to Carolina. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Violet. Excuse me. Shout out to Chippy. Shout out to Danix. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jaylene, thank you. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Brayden. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Jocelyn. Shout out to Dom. Shout out to Diego. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Betsy. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Carter. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Lorelai. Shout out to Darla. Excuse me. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Anna Clara. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to Vaughn. Shout out to Kira. Shout out to Satori. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to Manuel. Shout out to these people. Excuse me. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I do live streams every day around the same time as this. If you want to support my channel by subscribing or leaving likes, I would truly appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for being here. My channel's Nest DIY Corner. Shout out to Noelle. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Musan. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Janessa. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Catalina. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Jordana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Parker. Shout out to Orchid. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Yankee. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Eve. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Jacker. Shout out to Oakley. Shout out to Emery. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Also, please subscribe. Shout out to Cat's Eye. Shout out to Jinxie. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Pablo. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to DeMarcus. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Ariani. Shout out to Winston. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Orion. Shout out to Donica. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Sana. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Kayla. Excuse me. Shout out to Madison. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Lewis. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to Kiana. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Maddox. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Mackenzie. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Carlo. Shout out to Martez. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Acacia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Nathan. Whoops, put an M by mistake. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Ashlyn. Shout out to Markellius. Shout out to Danix. Shout out to Aaron. Andrew, I got you. Shout out to Sean. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Loriana. Shout out to Gloria. Shout out to Alexi. Shout out to Stray Kids. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Axel. Shout out to Bill. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Kinley. Shout out to Sloan. Shout out to Oscar. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Zachary. Shout out to Preston. Shout out to Nawal. Shout out to Cool Guy. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Bruno. Shout out to Joshua. Jaylene, I put Andrew. Where is he? He's right here. Shout out to Chic Lovey. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nolan. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Maverick. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Sarah. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kalena. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. I'm so sorry. I'm a little sick. Thank you so much for your patience. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. I do live streams every day around the same time as this. I also post other content. If you're interested, please check it out. Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Bentley. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Rada. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Pierre. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Bruno. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Gio. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Zaylin. Shout out to Caravan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Avia. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Beckett. Shout out to Gustavo. Shout out to Uliana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to William. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Brooks. Shout out to Ezra. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Mallory. Shout out to Daira. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Jemiah. Shout out to Shreya. Shout out to Reina. Shout out to Henry. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to Axel. Oops, I messed up. Shout out to Nolan. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to David. Shout out to Sammy. Shout out to Becky Coconut. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Dara. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Karina. Shout out to Smith. Shout out to Gojo. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Anthony. I'm gonna put Peyton again because it looks like a R instead of a P. There we go. Shout out to Chloe. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Mui. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Juanita. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Bella. Oh no, I already got Bella. Shout out to Leslie M. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Osman. Shout out to Philippe. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Enzo. Shout out to Lydia. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Jaylee. Shout out to Salvador. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Dason. Shout out to Johnny. Excuse me. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Lobo. Shout out to Aries. Shout out to Milani. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Ricardo. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Ansel. Shout out to Corey. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to J2. Shout out to Eileen. Shout out to Aaliyah Jean. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Yancy. Shout out to Louise. Shout out to Trixie. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Carly. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Bubbles. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Zunaid. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I do shout outs during the whoopsie, I messed up. I do shout outs during the live stream. Also, thank you for your patience. I know I don't write the fastest and the chat goes really fast sometimes. So thank you so much. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. Thank you. Shout out to Malika. Shout out to Cookie. Shout out to Luis. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Ronell. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Edwin. Whoopsie, I messed up. There we go. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Damari. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Dignity. Shout out to Amaya. Shout out to Emily. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Malachi. Shout out to Nelly. Shout out to Allie. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Winston. Oops. I'm gonna rewrite your name because I squished the S. There we go. Shout out to Makai. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Romy or Romy. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Carolyn. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Faustino. Shout out to Pranay. Shout out to Stay. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Trinity. Shout out to Colleen. Shout out to Jet. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Fernando. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Paradise. Shout out to Bassie. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Brody. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Flo. Shout out to Lizzie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Rain. Shout out to Frankie. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Arleth. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Araya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Hikaru. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Vicky. Shout out to Mackenzie. Shout out to Janice. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Iago. Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Jacqueline. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Emerson. Shout out to Noemi. Shout out to Kaylee, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Weston. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Kalani. Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Paradise. Shout out to Aspen. Shout out to Ellis. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Autumn. Excuse me. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Lydia. Shout out to David. Shout out to Corey Hennessy. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to Freya. Shout out to Jeff. Shout out to Karina. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I do shout outs every day around the same time as this. I also post other content under the YouTube shorts. My channel is Nest DIY Corner if you want to check it out. I do greeting cards, tutorials. If you're interested, please check it out. I would truly appreciate your support. If you leave likes or if you can subscribe or both, your support means the world to me. So I hope you can check it out. Check out my channel. I do greeting cards, birthday cards, holiday card tutorials. Your support would mean the world to me. Thank you for being here. Shout out to DeAndre. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to Vera. Shout out to Cosmo. Shout out to Faith. I'm sick. I don't think I could sing. But happy birthday, Faith. Shout out to Jaylene. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Prayanaya. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sapphira. Shout out to Elliot. to Zane. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Arisha. Shout out to Luana. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Orozco. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Romeo. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Lanisha. Shout out to Mason. Excuse me. Shout out to Miku or Maiku. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Lacey. Shout out to Celine. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Jace. Happy birthday. Shout out to Island. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Yasin. Shout out to Donna. Shout out to Jalil. Shout out to Arcia. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Paulina. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Sairaj. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Penny. Shout out to Cat's Eye. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Hudson. Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Ava, happy birthday. Shout out to Hudson, I got you. Shout out to Felix. Shout out to Perez. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Guadalupe. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to Sway. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to Victoria Lalonde. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Silver. Shout out to Maria Angel. Oops. Shout out to London. Shout out to Andy. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Zainab. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lily Rose. Shout out to Benji. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Lorraine. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Serenity. Excuse me. Shout out to Sultan. Shout out to David, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lorraine. Shout out to Nylia. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brianni. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rosamund. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Sage. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Soraya. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Larissa. Shout out to Thiago. Shout out to Gadriel. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Veda. Shout out to Remus. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Aura. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Zuri. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Ezekiel. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Luana. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Maria Luz Perez. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. So thank you for being here. If you want to check out my channel, it's Nest DIY Corner. I post other content as well. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Noah is awesome and cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to it's Natalie and Nayeli. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Charlene Feather Earring. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Amir SO5. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to New York Grulon. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Felix. Shout out to Ambia. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Madison. Shout out to Kaylee. Oh, I just got Kaylee. Shout out to Alexi. Shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Bethany. Happy early birthday. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Zavery. Shout out to Moses. Shout out to Barbie. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Nelly. Shout out to Yuritsi. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Zane. Shout out to Miguel. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to New York Grublon. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Lexin. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Cricket. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Ren. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Soraya. Shout out to Yunjin. Shout out to Diego. Shout out to Kayliana. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to, oh my goodness, sorry. Shout out to Aitana. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Tate. Shout out to Norana. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ivan. Shout out to Davis. Shout out to Diviana. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Marilyn. Shout out to Roa. Shout out to Rainy. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Felix. Shout out to David. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to New York Gruyon. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Adelie Zerang. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Matthew Foreman. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Barbara. Shout out to Tristan. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Carly. Shout out to Araya. Or Aria. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kerrigan. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Maddie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to KJ. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Coraline. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Natalia. Shout out to Kelsey. Shout out to Delilah. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Adeline. Or Adeline. Shout out to Hadia. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Doggo. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to Faith Vega. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Belkis. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Natasha. Shout out to Sophia. Happy birthday. Shout out to New York Gruyon. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Johnny. Excuse me. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Maritza. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Madison. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Franklin. Shout out to Eliana. Shout out to Victoria. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Lizzie. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Araya. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Shariah. Shout out to Mirka. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nash. Shout out to Rome. Shout out to Pavani. Happy birthday. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Axel. Shout out to Brody. Shout out to Orion. Shout out to Malia. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. I will see you all next time. Bye.